Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thrive, Not Just Survive. I'm your host, Nasira Jamal, and I am so grateful that you are here. First of all, I have to apologize. For the last couple of days, I've not been on live, the last 2 days actually. And the reason is I had a sick puppy on my hands, and that was taking up a bit of my time. And you all know, as entrepreneurs, we need to take care of things that are going on. And sometimes what we need to do is balance out what is going on in our life. And we all have things that come up and show up and provide challenges. So this is to just show you the real me and the real way life works for all of us who are, out in the media like this. And sometimes, life happens and it's about being real. And I love this whole thing about people showing up in their authenticity. It's so important to be who we are and follow that light, because that is a soul message, I believe. And today's guest is actually going to walk us through how she actually answered the call. And not that it was a plan, but it's something that fell into place from her passion. So let me introduce you to Monica Parker, who's going to share with us her journey, her story, and give us some tools, some things that she does that actually will help us in this time of this pandemic and the new norms that are being created in how we're going out into the world again, being at shopping, being with friends, or whatever that is. So let me bring her on because I feel this conversation is going to get really exciting. Hello, Monica. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to join me here. I'm so honored and privileged.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Before we start, I know for a lot of my viewers, we always want to give a framework of, who you are and how you got to doing what you're doing. Because in the story that you're going to share, other people will be able to also reflect on their own story, because we all have it, right? We all come
Right.
from somewhere and we land up doing something that really is, perhaps I want to call it like a soul purpose or a calling. So can you guide us through what your journey's been up to this day?
Sure. So I am originally, I have a tech background, so I'm in technology. But during this pandemic, they've shut things down and they're opening things up in small phases. I'm in Maryland. So being at home, I just moved into a new townhouse and set up my sewing room and in February. And so I'd wondered, when would I get the chance to sew, with this new job and, some exciting things happening. And so when the pandemic hit, of course, like everyone else, I was nervous, anxious. And so I actually had friends who were making masks, and they said, you should try this too. And so nervous and tightly wound, I wasn't really sure about it, but I started sewing. And there is the need for it. There's a need for masks. And of course, now more and more states in the US are mandating masks in public. And so I also am a creative side. I'm left-handed, so creative brain working. And so what I did was, instead of just making masks, I also made matching headbands and head wraps. So I can give you an example if you want to see.
Yeah, so let's just first talk about that, right?
Okay.
It becomes now a wardrobe, right? Like now it's becoming part of our normal day-to-day things. Like we might have make sure it's, the masks in the car, or now
Hmm.
people are, looking at, well, how do you make it look nice, right? Like if you're going to wear it and you don't
Right.
want to have a surgical mask, a blue surgical mask on your face. And a lot of people, are kind of having fun with it, saying, you know what, if this is going to be mandated, let's make it beautiful. Let's make it
Exactly.
matching to whatever we're wearing. And then actually, when we're wearing it, we're not so self-conscious, right? Like we're basically living it and saying we're proud to put it on our face because it protects us, it protects others, and we
Hmm.
look good in the interim, right? So I do want you to share that. However, you made a really good point. Like you basically, the pandemic happened, you had this technology type of job, and you had this passion for sewing. And it all
Hmm.
kind of lined up. But what you are doing for the marketplace is solving a problem. And this is where entrepreneurship comes in, right? It's not just about, oh, I just want to do this and hopefully people will come towards me and buy my product or service. It's about really creating a solution for a problem that exists in the marketplace. And this is where the whole journey of entrepreneurship begins. And I love that you pointed that out, that, it's something that's needed, that was needed. And in order for you to combat your nerves and your worry and you basically figured out, well, how can I serve? at this point, what can I do to serve? And I
Right.
love that. So I'm really excited. I want to see what you have. So your masks, your headbands, and you said a third item.
Full head wraps.
That's beautiful. So can
Yeah.
people actually pick a assortment of fabrics, or do you give them choices on colors? How do you do that?
Yeah, so initially I started with some fabric that I've owned because like I said, I haven't been able to sew like I wanted to. And then as that inventory ran out, because they went pretty quickly, I started finding some creative ways to find fabric. Joanne Fabrics was closed, and then when they were allowing people in, they were allowing 3 people at a time. So I was allowed for 2 hours. So I started trying to find some other ways to, fulfill the need for fabric. So I have some samples, some inventory online, and I show what I have available, and I actually model them. But I also have purchased some new fabric. It's going to be a little bit challenging to work with. The current fabric that I have is a stretch fabric that's easy to wrap. It's lightweight. It's comfortable. The fabric I'm buying is Ankara African wax fabric. And so it doesn't have a stretch, but it's beautifully colored, and you can wrap it in so many different ways.
Okay, so that's amazing because now people can see what they're getting prior to ordering,
Mhm.
correct? I know I talked to you
Exactly.
before the show that right now you're obviously in the States and you've been shipping it out in the States and Hawaii. And I did ask you if somebody from Canada wanted to order something, you would be able to ship out to Canada, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. So we do want to make sure that you get that reach. I think people are looking for creative ways of getting these masks that are nice to wear and good fabric and assortment. I think people want to not just wear the one mask or the one blue surgical mask or whatever that is. Sometimes
Mhm.
I think up until now, it was like whatever you can get your hands on, right?
Right,
There was a
right.
shortage and there wasn't a lot available. But now that a lot of people are looking at ways of getting things that are nicer, that are, obviously we're going to be doing this for a while, looks like.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to show us some of your examples, and then we'll share how people can contact you on Facebook and also how would they order it online. So first, let's see the products, and then we'll
Okay.
tell people how to get a hold of you.
Okay, so let's see. So this is one that I have quite a few of these available, and you can actually see I'm in the process of filling an order. So this is a mask, and this is how it looks.
Amazing.
I haven't put the loops on, but what I like about this is I actually use fabric ties. So this is kind of hard to see because I'm wearing black, but it's a stretchy tie, and I add that to the end, and I'll
Okay.
show you a couple of examples. Um, and you can either tie it
Mm-hmm.
or it's adjustable. I guess that's all I'm trying to
Right.
say. So
Well, I guess, yeah,
um,
because depending on, right, like the size of anybody's face, sometimes it's
right.
too loose, then you're not really getting that coverage.
Hmm. So this is one that I wear often,
That's beautiful.
and this is actually reversible.
I was
This is
just
the
going
front.
to, I was just going to ask you because I noticed it was blue and I thought, oh, I wonder if it's reversible.
Yeah, and then I have this was at the beginning of my process that I was starting. So the head wrap is kind of raw with no lining, but it's just kind of a headband head wrap. But as I got more and more, I guess, experienced into this, here's a mask that I currently have available, rainbow colored with the
Nice.
blue ear loops, and
Perfect.
then the headband um, is actually a bright colored, the same fabric, and you can tie the end so many different ways. I have examples on my site. I just
That's,
got this fabric in that I'm excited to make masks and head wraps from. It's bright, it's
oh,
colorful,
nice.
yeah. And then another option, I bought this from a friend online. This
Oh,
color is really pretty with
very
the
nice.
matching head wrap, and I liked it so much. I searched, scoured the internet, and I found this fabric, and it'll be delivered this week. So this will be another option that I'll be offering.
That's amazing. Like the colors are so vibrant and
Hmm.
it's that almost like the makeup we put on, right? Like right now, I've talked to quite a few women, like you almost don't need makeup because the mask typically covers the entire face. So if you have a nice colorful mask on, you feel like you've got some color on you.
Exactly. Yeah. I wear makeup now because I'm doing this interview, but
Yeah, me too.
normally
Yeah.
I would not be. I don't have any lipstick on because I knew I was going to put masks on my face. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are changing, right, in terms of how we are doing our sort of morning routines of what we put on our face or what we don't put on our face. So I think the masks is definitely something that's going to stick around for a long while. I mean,
Yes.
we need to flatten this curve, and we need to all do our part in terms of, protecting ourselves, our families, and the people we're coming into contact with. Because
That's
again,
right.
I was reading somewhere, or actually, I think it was a podcast, or anyways, I was hearing it that to people that don't know, like the percentage of how many people that are actually carrying the virus, but they
Hmm.
don't even know it because they have no symptoms. They don't know. So it's not like they're meaningfully going out saying, oh, I don't care, I'm just going to, pass this along. People don't know, right? That they don't
Right.
have it, or they're carrying it. And
Right. Initially, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
just going to
no,
say
the mask is
initially,
a great way. Yeah.
yeah, initially we were told, if you have symptoms, stay home. But if you don't, wear a mask, go out. But now we're told you're out and about and you don't even know that you have it.
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
even in terms of, I had a lady on that was talking about, actually it was a doctor on that was saying, even when you're walking, if you're
Hmm.
walking behind somebody and somebody coughs in front of you, it
Yes.
travels because it's airborne, right? So
Right.
it gets captured into the air, into the particles, and now it's traveling, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you're not protected and you think, oh, I'm outside, I've got fresh air, I'm okay. You're still being exposed without knowing, right?
That's right.
So again, the idea of mask wearing, yes, I understand for some people, it's like a challenge, right? To get over that hump of saying, oh, I look kind of weird, I don't want to wear it. But if you look at sort of the other side of it, saying it protects you, it protects
Hmm.
others. And then if it looks really beautiful, right? You have a beautiful fabric, then I think you're a little bit less conscious of the fact that you've got a covering on your face, right?
Right. And then also, I'm planning to add a luxe line, a luxurious line, and add different options. Like this is something that I haven't tried yet. I just bought all the materials. So this is grommets. What is this? Eyelet grommets.
Okay.
So that I can put the straw in the mask. See,
Ah,
like happy hours and when you're out and about and you don't want to take your full mask off, but you want to drink something. So
yeah.
this is something I'm considering. I've got little Velcro ties that I could put on the flap that opens so you can
Ah,
drink the straw and then you can put it back so it can be secured. So I have some ideas of
you
other
are
ways to make it more.
very creative. I love it because you're thinking that, as people are out, it's not just that they're keeping it on and just walking around. You're eating, you're
Right.
drinking, you're doing a lot of different things that actually require to maybe have some more accessibility to your mouth, right?
Exactly.
But I love it. I love the fact that you're really looking at the problem that exists and then finding a solution, and
Hmm.
an easy solution that people would be able to quickly, adhere to, right? If it was too complicated, or if it was having many, many, many steps, it may be that people would get deterred from it. But I think you're
Right.
making it really simple and beautiful. So, can you tell us, like, how would somebody order it if they wanted to get us any of your items?
Sure. I have a Facebook page just for the mask business, separate from my personal page. It's Masks by Moni. So if you type that, or if you go to facebook.com/masks with an S, Masks by Moni, you'll see my page. You'll see I have some videos on how to wrap the head wraps because I've had some customers say, I don't know how to wrap it. It's beautiful, but I can't make it look like yours. So I give step-by-step instructions. I show you how you can make a full head wrap into a headband option. So you
Oh,
just fold it in half. So you have two looks. You can wrap them and tie them a million different ways. So I have that also on my page.
that's awesome that you've done videos, because I think this is something, again, right? It's something that we have to learn if we don't know how to do it, but we want to be able to show up differently and have all these things that look beautiful. You have to learn a new technique or a new skill. And I love that you're doing videos because people can really follow along And when they order it, they don't feel like, oh my God, now what?
Exactly. Yeah, I've ordered some things and I'm like, how do I put this together? It
Right.
doesn't look the way they do it, So to show you step by step and, give you some options, it really builds confidence.
Awesome. So on your page, are they able to order right from there, or would they contact you like with a private message?
Right. So they would have to send me a message. I tell people, because this is still new, so I don't have an official website. I don't have, the all the makings of an online business. But so through Facebook, you would send me a message and either take a screenshot or just describe the item that you like, that you're interested in. And I have certain, sales going on, different discounts and all kinds of offerings. Like, there's a discount for frontline workers if you're working in a hospital. My mom works in a hospital in the lab, and if you're working in a hospital, you're working at a grocery store, I offer certain discounts for first front end people and first, I guess, frontline. I don't know what
Frontline
you. Yes,
workers.
yes,
No, I
frontline workers.
think that is so amazing, right? That you're able to see the need, appreciate the people that are out there protecting us, doing their best, risking their lives to save
Absolutely.
others. I believe is like, I get goosebumps when I talk about this, because I think we live in such a country like Canada, America, where we really are looking out for each other. And our frontline workers have been diligently working since this whole thing started back in, I don't even know, I think it's like 120, 125 days ago. And
Right.
they continue to show up. So when you support people in our community, I think it goes a long ways knowing that we all come together in time of need. So I applaud you for that. Thank you for doing that and honoring the people that are taking care of us. And then I wanted to ask you, with the masks, can they be ordered like separately, or like, is it like a pair, like a mask and a headband? Do you do it?
So yeah, I can do it separately. So the masks, you can order by themselves. Some have asked for just the head wraps. They said, they already have enough masks, but they really like the head wraps, so you can order the head wraps by themselves. Like I said, the head wraps can be turned into a headband, or if you just want a headband because you don't want the full fabric, if you want a thinner piece of fabric, I do offer a headband by itself. So you can do them sets or individually. It's up to whatever
That's
you want.
awesome. I think that's brilliant, because people may actually want to kind of mix and match, or just get one item and not all three.
Mhm.
And what about turnaround time? Like if somebody was to order, how I know you're doing this on your own at home, and you've probably tired out of going perhaps 8-10 hours a day, but what's the turnaround generally speaking?
So I tell people 3 to 5 days. But sometimes if they catch me at the right time, or the night before I'm planning to go to the post office, I can whip it together and mail it out the next day, depending on what my assembly line, my order history is.
Right,
So
right.
it
Well,
kind
of
of
course.
depends.
And I guess, I mean, even within 3 and 5 days, it's not like we're talking weeks. We're not talking
Oh
six,
no,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're pretty quick in getting these things out. I think it's lovely. I think it's also a great way of if somebody wanted to send someone a gift, of just sort of ordering it from you and saying, you know what, I want to give this as a gift to my sister, sister-in-law, brother, whatever, it is something that shows up at their door. Because as we know, we are going to need masks, and we're going to need more of them, right? Like you can't
Hmm.
continually use the same one. I know I was reading a post today that said, you need to make sure that the mask you're wearing is clean,
Hmm.
because otherwise now you're actually causing more of an issue. If you're wearing the same mask, it's not washed, or whatever the situation is, you
Absolutely.
want to make sure that it's clean. And if we have different versions of them, at least we can pick one up and run while the others may be getting cleaned, whatever.
Exactly. So I've
Or
had some people who have
yeah,
ordered 2 or 3 sets, and then they love them so much they like, I need 3 more sets, or they order some for like you said, their sister. One person ordered one for their sister and their 2 daughters, and
right.
so yeah, it's like
Yeah.
multiple
And then
sets for multiple days.
and multiple areas, right? You could have one in the car, at the office, in your house. I think it's just having them accessible everywhere, so you never get stuck that oh my God, I'm gone out and I don't have a mask.
Right.
So I think that's another good thing. And in terms of sort of, I know we don't know about delivery to Canada time wise, but would
Hmm.
you be using like Pure Later or UPS or the general like postage?
So I've used the post office most times, but I don't know. I'd have to kind of do trial and error to see
Yeah.
how things work. So I could do some research on that before I
Well, even maybe
send
putting
out.
it on your Facebook page of just, for your Canadian customers, kind of just an overview
Hmm.
of what to expect and how
Okay.
it's going to show up for them, just because I think a lot of people are a little bit weary of packages coming and, all of that stuff. So
That's true.
just maybe some info on your page would be great, because I think you are going to get some, reach now in Canada, and I would love to be one of your customers. So I will definitely look at your Facebook page and see what you have, and also I'd like to promote you in my. I have a private Facebook group called the Pink Tank, where I have women entrepreneurs in there. So I'd like to invite you to that, but also I'd like to show this video there if anybody in the group wants to order or share the video. I really want people to understand that, we have to support our small businesses, our women entrepreneurs who are working from home at this time and trying to solve a problem, but also it's an income for, families, right? At this point in time, we do need to support each other through this journey, as we're all learning and growing and figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, you're right. And so I think I'll look up UPS and DHL, and I'll do some research to see, who has the best delivery times and what the reputations are, and then I'll
Yeah.
add that to my page.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. And I'd love to invite you back once you have maybe a website going or any kind of other information, or maybe you're going to add, like you said, you're adding some new products and new ways of the masks operating. I'd love to have you back, because I think, like I said, this is going to be part of our norm. And I would love to support you and the work that you're doing. And I'm so privileged that you've taken this time to share this with us.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Awesome. Is there any parting words, like anything that you want to say to somebody? Let me tell you, I'll frame this a little bit better.
Hmm.
For someone who's thinking about doing something, that an entrepreneur journey, like they kind of know they have a genius, like they love to whatever. And I know you did that, right? Can you give us a tip or a couple of tips on what you would say to somebody that's thinking about it, but having that fear of taking that first step?
Hmm. I would say that if you have a passion for something and you know that you've tried it for yourself and you feel that there may be a need out there, or you've had friends or family who have said, this is a great idea, you should actually, push forward with it. I would say go for it. I would say, test your market, start small. And then once you get the feedback, alter as you go. Because as you know, as an entrepreneur, your first idea is usually not the best idea. It's not the, I'm not saying the best, but you can improve upon your first, product. So I would say test it out, get some feedback, and then launch it. I mean, especially if it's something that you're comfortable with, you're confident in, and you see that there's a need. So just, go for it.
I love it, because I think that's one of the things, right? People usually get set back by the idea of it has to be perfect. It has to be the home run. Oh my God, what if it doesn't go? The thing is, market research is, when you do launch it, you're going to get feedback. You're going to get more information. And that's what's going to help you get to that place where that product is on its way to being a home run, because you need that feedback. But the first step is to get started. And I love it when you said, just go for it. If you have something that you feel is going to help others, then just do it. And I think that's one of the biggest things entrepreneurs get held back up on, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be perfect. I want it to be like, I want everyone to just love it. But it's not like that. And I think the beauty is in the journey of figuring it out.
Yes.
Right?
Also, circle yourself and surround yourself with people who are either like-minded or encouragers, someone that will support. I think that sometimes we need that little push, that little extra, encouraging word to just give us the release to be able to go for it.
Yeah. And I think that's another good point. Surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you and empower you and give you courage, as opposed to the naysayers who are saying this is never going to work, right?
Right.
Because we need to be in that vibration and that energy of people that have that positive attitude, because that in itself is one of those things that's going to propel you.
Right.
Just that whole thought process. Like, I teach all of this in terms of, law of attraction and the power of thoughts, and thoughts are things. And
Mm-hmm.
these are, vibes that we're putting out there. That's one of the big ones, is that you want to be able to think it's possible before it is possible.
Yes, that's huge. I mean, just real quick. So before this pandemic happening, and I'm not saying that I am the cause of the pandemic, but when I moved into my townhouse, I told my mom, I just want to be home for a month. I just want to be home for a month with pay and just enjoy my new place. And that happened.
Yes.
So yeah, things that you say, thoughts become words, becomes actions, becomes, manifested.
Exactly. And I think, it's funny you say that. I had a couple of people on that I've talked to, and they're saying, I've been thinking I just want to work from home. I want to spend more time with my kids. And then the pandemic hits. And it's like,
Yeah.
collectively, we have put something into the universe that
Hmm.
has been saying, we want more time with family. We want to recalibrate. We want to reset. We want something where life is so busy and hectic. We want to slow it down. And
Yes.
voila, it presents itself. Though we didn't ask for a pandemic,
Right.
it took a pandemic to get a global reset. So
Hmm.
for me, when I started this whole interview thing back when the pandemic started, I always said there's a silver lining to this. There is a
Hmm.
blessing in disguise. And I'm not saying that, there's people suffering, and I feel for them. I pray for
Right.
those that are, challenged by the virus or their families have been affected. But I do believe in the whole sort of globally, we're brought to a place where we can create a new world, new thoughts, right? New people doing businesses, new things showing up, and us actually becoming better human beings by being compassionate. And I talk a lot about emotional intelligence, and I believe this is our place to increase our level of empathy for others.
Hmm.
Right? So
I
we're
agree.
showing up and we're doing what we can do. We're joining forces, Canada, America, wherever, globally. I've got people from around the globe on this interview. So I think there's a reach there. There's a way for us all to connect and support each other. So with that being said, I just want to thank you for the work you're doing. It's absolutely exemplary for you to go from technology to creating a small business that's helping others. I want to applaud you for that.
Thank you so much. This has been a great experience.
Awesome. So I'll have you on whenever you're ready. I do want to see the new product. I will encourage people to go onto your facebook.com/masks by Moni. If you want any further information or you want to order items, just private message you. I want to wish you a wonderful Thursday. And again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today.
Thank you for having me. This has been awesome.
Bye. So everybody, this was a lady that, had a different plan at the beginning of 2020 in terms of moving into a new home, and her business in technology, or her workplace was, or her genius at that time was technology. And she created something in the midst of a pandemic that is now becoming a business. It's helping others. It's creating a vibe in the world with some fashion trends, somewhere where we can all come together and support. So I encourage you to go to Masks by Moni. If you want to order some masks, if you want to send them as gifts, if you want to share this video, you never know who else is out there that may be looking for this type of service. There are people that, aren't as savvy, going out and buying masks or asking for help. This video is sure to help for those who just want to, at a click of a button, get a hold of somebody who can help them out. So I want to wish you a happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow I'm on with Dr. Cheryl Bryant Bruce. We're going to continue our conversation on Black Lives Matter and what we can do to continue the conversation and be the change we want to see in the world. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Remember to be kind to yourself and to others. I'll see you tomorrow.